Okay, we'll see if this works better. I apologize for those who had video issues. Well, yeah, I had video issues. I was trying to record in landscape mode, and evidently it's not quite ready for production. So anyway, we're going to talk about three things real quickly. I know most of you are already on the first scope, so I'll just quickly run through it. Week 4 in CIS280, we're covering the GitHub and also turning in your final app idea. Also, you'll be having to meet some milestones on the final app idea. Week 6, week 8, week 10, and week 12 milestone, and we'll go over that on Monday. Let's first talk about GitHub. GitHub is a repository used by developers to store all your source code. It's used by Windows developers, mobile developers, for languages like PHP, Swift, like we use in this class, Visual Basic. And so a number of developers use GitHub again to store source code and to check it in, check out code. What's great about it is it allows you to keep your code safe without having to worry about if your computer crashed, all your work would be gone. So we're going to begin starting to use it in week 5. Week 4, we're just going to get it set up and show you what it's all about. We'll do a little demo in class. And then we'll talk about your final project, which is week 4 project. So week 4, you're just covering two things, GitHub and turning in your final project app title, basically. So I want to show you basically some of the reading that you're going to need to do between today and tomorrow. So I'll flip the screen to show you. So it's basically going to be covering some reading in GitHub. There's in week 4 reading, there's some links to click on to read, as well as some from the website, GitHub's website, some from other resources, but just go through those steps as far as reading prior to coming to class. If you don't have a Mac at home, you do not need to be concerned with steps that have to do with downloading GitHub, but I would go through these steps before Monday to kind of have an idea of what GitHub is and what it's all about. So again, the 4 reading I would definitely recommend you doing before coming to class on Monday. And again, GitHub is free to use. You'll set up a student account and get what's called a private educational account, which will allow you to have a private repo as well as multiple unlimited public repos. And repo stands for repository, where basically each project you create this semester will have its own separate repository. You'll upload it to GitHub. That means your week-by-week assignments as well as your final app that you'll begin working on, be able to begin working on anyway in week 5 and technically week 4. You could begin working on it this week as far as your ideas and all that good stuff for the app. So GitHub is, again, real easy to use. It's very common within developer communities. You'll hear the word GitHub and you might have heard it before. And there is a podcast already out there in week 4 for the in-class demo if you want to watch that before Monday's class. And in class, we'll be setting up GitHub and the EDU account. You'll be getting your username and password and submitting to me just your username so I can add you to the iOS course. And then the final app project you'll be working on. I'll flip the screen for that. Final app project is you'll basically be creating an idea, giving you a heads up since week 1, idea for an app, and then you'll be submitting that by September 21st at midnight. And I give in the directions in week 4 app idea assignment examples from the prior semesters, what students have submitted. You'll have the last 4 weeks of class, 100% of the time, to work on your app, starting with week 12, week 13, week 14, 15, and then week 16 you'll present. We will have some milestones you'll need to hit, and I'll meet one-on-one with you to make sure you're meeting those milestones. And milestones in programming basically are benchmarks of that you're, number one, making progress, number two, you're succeeding in that progress by meeting these benchmarks or milestones. And it allows you to complete the project more successful by greater success of completion by meeting milestones. I've tried to make them very attainable, and so I wouldn't be concerned about not being able to meet the milestones as long as you do the work each week and chip away at the ideas and the requirements for each one of them. I'll go over the requirements real quick for the milestones. This is week 4 you're going into. By next Monday, your final app idea will need to be submitted to me. You have until week 6 to create what's called a wireframe, which we'll go over in class. It's a prototype, basically, of your app. Week 8, I need to have your app at least started to be created in Xcode as a project and adding some view controllers in there. Week 10, start adding objects to your app, like buttons and such. And in week 12, at least start adding some code of some type to your app. And weeks 12 through 15, you'll be working on your app again in and out of classroom 100% of the time. And then week 16, you'll present your final app to the class. So hopefully by meeting those milestones along the way, every few weeks, it'll help you stay on track. And again, they're not big bites out of your project, just really small bites out of your project to hopefully help you succeed in it. There is resources we'll go over in class. They're already out there on Eagle in week 4 on the 4 app idea assignment. If you want to look over those before Monday, that'd be awesome. And the discussion this week is basically at the end of the session tomorrow, you should understand why we use GitHub and what the importance is. And that's what the discussion questions going on. Now for the next few minutes, I'm going to focus on the last 5 minutes of the scope today. Was anybody able to watch the Apple rollout last Wednesday on its new products? If you could tap the screen, or if you've seen some videos of that, if you could tap the screen, that'd be great. If you go to apple.com, by the way, you can view all of the keynote for the entire presentation. And the one product that I saw that was the one I'm probably going to get is the iPad Pro. The iPad Pro has some new features to it. Besides a faster processor and more memory, it has a dockable keyboard that's going to be coming with it, and an Apple Pencil that you'll be able to use as either a stylus, or if you're into graphic design, you can use it to minutely manipulate images. There's a new two Photoshop by Adobe suites, actually 3 apps that Adobe has created for the new iPad Pro, along with Microsoft Office is creating a version just for the iPad that will be coming out soon. And so the other thing that Apple talked about was with the new iPhone and the new iPad Pro is the Force Touch. And basically that's where you touch the screen and hold it, and you have an extra menu. You'll actually be able to, on the onboard keyboard on the iPad and the iPhone with the Force Touch, you'll actually be able to have some type of screen notification, whether it be a buzzing symbol, notification on your finger when you type, which will give it somewhat of a keyboard look and feel, more of a keyboard look and feel than what we have now. Also, when you're on an app, you can press in certain areas of the screen and give menus. And when you're drawing on a drawing app, the more pressure you put on a screen, the the wider the brushes, the lighter you press on the screen, the smaller or narrower the brushes. So out of all of the things that they rolled out, there was tons of newer or other things they rolled out as well. The iPad Pro is probably the one that stuck out to me as really anything new. Everything else was just kind of an upgrade to what they have existing in their product line. One more I forgot about was the Apple TV. That, I guess, is new in the fact that it's going to be a new device, a new controller. The Apple TV that's going to be rolling out, you'll be able to add apps and create apps for just the Apple TV. So developers will actually not only be able to create apps for the iPhone, iPad, Watch, which you currently can, you'll also be able to create apps now just specifically for the Apple TV. And they've already started rolling out the developer kits for the Apple TV. I believe the price point on that's going to be like $179 or something like that for the new Apple TV. So is anyone that's listening, the 5 users here listening, going to buy any of these new items, or you're going to at least maybe look into them more? If you are, tap the screen, let me know. Or you can make a comment here in the below in the chat, and we can talk about it here. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and end the Periscope. If you don't have any questions, again, week 4 Q&A, we covered GitHub. We also covered making sure you do your reading on GitHub before Monday. And then next is a final app that you'll be creating an idea of. If you don't already have an idea, you'll have a whole week to think of an idea and submit it by next Monday. And the idea of milestones with your final app will also be a part of it. So was the video experience better being in portrait mode this time? If it was, if you could tap the screen to let me know, that'd be great. Otherwise, I don't know if it was or not. That would be awesome if you could do that. Just tap the screen so I can kind of know, put some hearts out there that indeed the video quality was better. Otherwise, I have no clue if it was or wasn't. And so if you are on Periscope now, if you could tap the screen there on the lower right corner where the numbers are, that would be awesome. I do want to talk about Tuesday as I end. Tuesday Tech Scope, 3:30 to 3:45 is the scheduled time every Tuesday to interview someone or talk about a topic of interest. This week, we're going to be talking to Eric Wolf from the CIS division and talk about some of the classes he's teaching. As well as if you watched Stephanie Washer's last week, we talked about also bring up some hobbies and things that are personal interest of the faculty that we interview. So you get to know a little bit more about those folks. So hopefully you'll plan on attending that. It will be recorded if you can. Again, 3:30, 3:45 on Tuesday. So I will see some of you there. Otherwise, I'll see you in class. Bye-bye.